What is up, everyone? Welcome to today's aftermarket trade recap. Today I'm just going to quickly go over the kind of daily outlook or the daily bias, and then as well as the setups that I had taken today. So yeah, just going into it real quick. Today I didn't really have a daily bias. Like kind of last night I saw that we did hold this daily fair value gap, and again I'm pretty sure I kind of went over it, but my weekly like kind of projection or my weekly bias for the week is to hopefully see at least these weekly lows taken out and kind of just see if that happens. Again, that's kind of like my weekly projection. Obviously, trying to predict that far ahead, not going to be right many times, but that's kind of just what I wanted to hopefully see throughout the week. And then, but the reason I didn't really have a daily bias today was because we did have CPI data. So ultimately, that was going to kind of make a decision of what I wanted to see today after that. And once that news data came out, I don't know what I just moved here. Once that news data came out, it was bullish. We left a huge like liquidity void or just a fair value gap that I would say. And so yeah, usually I mean in this scenario, like when we have such a huge candle for news, I mean there's times where we could take out the high and take out the low. But when you have kind of this huge of a move up, again this is like a really big fair value gap or very big liquidity void. So gotta more so expect to see us come back into it and respect it, and that's exactly what I saw. So after that had happened right before open, the bias for the day was bullish. And yeah, so now the one thing I will say going into my first setup on the day, I did take a short, and that was because that it just aligns with one of the models that I have where taking out a significant or tapping into a significant PD array or just taking out a significant liquidity, and we had this significant 4-hour here, and I have to go on MNQ to show that because that is what I had taken it on. And let me see if I can find it here. Okay, here it is. So yeah, I don't think we had an SMT or anything like that, but we had just taken out the 4-hour, went lower, came higher, and then we had this 2-minute inversion. It's pretty much like, again, just everything that I want to see when this happens. I mean, an SMT would have made it better, but did not get that. But eventually got the 2-minute close right. I'm trying to think, was it a 2-minute? Yeah. I don't remember exactly where I'd entered. I'd have to look on the thing, but technically, I think that. This is like weird now looking at it this way. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, on the close. Oh no, that's what it was. Okay, I do remember now. Sorry, I waited till a retracement. Back up. Let me actually just go to MNQ real quick too. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so now I remember. Oh wait, this is NQ. Oh, that's why. Oops. I'm slow. So I actually waited for a retracement up, and my fill actually ended up being, let me go on the 1-minute chart real quick. Oh boy. It's a pain having to go back on this. Okay. So yeah, I remember now. My fill was actually around here because the inversion on the 2-minute candle was pretty like low. I didn't want to get filled there because stop at break even was right here, and yeah, that's not where I wanted to get filled. So I waited till we came back up and almost I got filled like where we almost tapped inside of it, but as you can see it was a little bit below it. Stops were right above the fair value gap, or the inverse fair value gap. I think I took around 3 micros, I think it was 3 or 4, and yeah, got filled, ended up going to the break even point. Now why I also took this too, if I go back to NQ because that's where I mainly have it mostly charted out, just after taking out the significant liquidity we have to retrace, and we had a lot of areas that we could retrace back into. 15-minute, 5-minute, 15-minute. Ultimately was looking to see if the take profit could be down to this 15-minute, maybe the 5-minute. I was thinking about if we do take out the 5-minute, okay, that's where I'll start trailing, and then hope to see the 15-minute. The one thing I will say that kind of sucks is that it was kind of like we took out the 15-minute, retraced it back to my break even, and then right here we had like a 1-minute inverse that could have been a potential to take, and then the thing is though, we would have tapped in the 5-minute, got back break even, and then there was another short setup that could have been a possibility to take, I think, yeah, this 1-minute, and then that would have eventually taken out the 15-minute, but it wasn't like none of these were really anything significant I would have taken. But I was just saying, like, as for what would have happened, like, even if I would have taken these other ones, 2 out of the 3 would have got break even, and then I finally would have caught like a little move of it. But pretty much what this did do though is create a lot of low resistance liquidity. Now, since I did get break even on the first trade, I've only been taking 1 trade a day, technically 2 because it's across 2 different accounts. But 1 trade a day, and it's either been, I mean, I've mostly been winning on the days. I did have 1 losing day this month so far, but it's just the fact that I'll either win or lose the trade. But like I said, it's mostly been winning. So after that, that's kind of the style that I'm doing now. It's just 1 trade a day, whatever happens, happens. But since I did break even, which I haven't had so far on the month, since I did have a break even trade, it's just like, to me, I think that will kind of be my thing. If I have a break even trade, then I can still continue to trade because I haven't taken a loss or win yet. And yeah, I'm totally fine taking a trade after a break even. So this setup right here though is a very good setup. This would almost be an A plus setup for what I had taken, but the only thing it wasn't A plus, I would say, is just because we were past the into 11 a.m. And yeah, I mean, this, besides that though, this was a really good setup, and it's just unfortunate that it didn't work out. But you'll see like a little bit in the PM session later. So again, I took this for 4, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 4 minis. And we had, why this was so good is that we tapped into, again, this 5-minute to 15-minute. So we filled all of the untapped imbalances, and we were holding. We also had an SMT. So far, I'm really like, the 3 things I want to look for in my entries are like an SMT, holding into a high time frame Peter rate, and then an inversion. And then if we have anything like equal lows and then buy side and low resistance liquidity, like, that's so many confluences to take this position. Like, it was so good not to take, and it's just so unfortunate that it didn't work out. So yeah, I got stopped out for a small loss, but what I will say on my Top Step account, this is a mistake that I made that could have been pretty bad. I didn't realize that on Top Step I changed to the mini, and I ended up entering for 4 minis. Literally, as soon as I realized it, it was like on this wick up here, I had closed. Like, instantly closed. Didn't even want to re-enter the trade because I had already made a mistake. In the past, that could lead to, bad things if I keep trying to like get in. So I was just like, okay, make the mistake, close the position. So I was out of my Top Step. So I did, technically today should have been a losing day, but because of the Top Step, I am up a little bit on the day. And like, obviously that's a mistake. I'm not like, I could care less that I'm up on the day. It's not like anything I did. But obviously it's still going to count towards the P&L. It's still going to count towards my journal records, because of the fact that if it was a mistake and it ended up causing me to be red, it would still be on the journal. It would still be accounted for, because at the end of the day, it's like real money that's going to be accounted for. You know what I mean? So yeah, technically today should be a losing day, but it was a winning day in the sense of that. Now, as for this PM session trade right here, just going over this real quick, this was on demo. And yeah, this was actually, let me turn on the executions real quick. This worked out perfectly. I actually surprisingly bottom ticked it. But it just, all the stuff that I wanted to see, like the low resistance liquidity, the equal high, and then buy side being taken out. It's just, for the morning, I guess we were saving it for the PM session, because that's exactly what we did. I saw this setup right here. We were holding inside of like 5 minutes. I think maybe a 15-minute. Yeah, 15-minute. I don't think we had an SMT. Let me see real quick. Yeah, no sort of SMT on this setup. And we just had an inversion. I didn't enter on the inversion. I did want to wait to see, and then we tap back into this. So like again, technically, this isn't my exact model. We almost tapped back into it, but I mean, again, that's kind of how I entered today on the other one. But I did notice that it was a balanced price range BPR, and just and then also too, we also had these equal highs. I didn't even realize that, but it's just all like the equal high, the low resistance liquidity, the buy side level, and we had the inversion, almost a tap back in. That's just what had made me enter. Very high confluences, and I was just very confident on the draw. And yeah, I mean, ended up going all the way to my bias, which was for 63 points. Now, for me, I only caught about 40, like 48, 47, and that's just because 2 p.m. open isn't exactly what I had wanted to see. And we did end up coming up, taking out this internal high. But once we had taken out this internal high, the fact that 2 p.m. didn't open how I wanted to see it, I was like, okay, I'm going to start trailing. Trailed, ended up getting stopped out in profit, and then it eventually, a few minutes later, ended up going for full TP. So yeah, that was a lot. That wasn't as short as I wanted to be, but I wanted to make sure I really explained it all for me and for you guys and just get everything out. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Today is Wednesday, so we have 2 more days left on the week. We do have news tomorrow, no news on Friday. So hopefully can end the week strong like this trade right here, but on one of my actual accounts. So yeah, that's it for today. Hope to see you guys sometime this week, either Thursday or Friday. But yeah, that's it. Peace out.